On behalf of the entire Kearns family, thank you for being here today. We are so grateful for your support and love of my mom. Strange as it may seem, earlier this year, Mom told me what you wanted me to say today. I was over at their house to go over recent changes to their estate. We were in their backyard, sitting apart, masks on. My hair was down past my shoulders because I hadn't seen a barber in over a year. Dad was going over a long list of boring details, and I just smiled at Mom and said, "Why am I even here? You're going to outlive me." After all, her mom lived past the age of 97. Dad eventually got up to get something from the house, and I jokingly said to Mom, "Well, what would you want me to say at your funeral?" She laughed and quickly came back with, "First, you must cut that hair." She absolutely hated it. I thought my dad hated it worse, but it was my mom. Second, she said, "No ratty Laker t-shirts." I was wearing one at the time, and I owned like 10 of them. Couldn't stand those either. Kidding aside, I asked her again, "What would you want me to say?" She simply looked at me and said, "Say something interesting. I trust you." Tough charge, and I'll do my best. I'll start with what kind of mom she was. A pivotal moment in my childhood came as I was falling behind in school with reading. I'd been doing okay until suddenly I wasn't, and there was serious talk that I might do better in a class for slower learners. Mom snapped into action and took her little boy to the finest reading establishment possible, the comic book store. And for months, Mom sat tirelessly at my bed and we read comic books together. And I eventually caught up with my classmates. And I developed a lifelong appreciation for hero stories and graphic art and reading. I even let my little sister read my comic books, and she now sits on the board of a comic book company. And we both share our passion for these stories and characters with our kids, and we have Mom to thank. Speaking of my sister, there was a longer-term project my mom deeply cared about. She wanted my sister and me to be good friends. Her sister Mary was her best friend, and she loved Mary with all her heart. I, however, was not always the best big brother, especially in my obnoxious teen years. When I went away to college, our relationship really could have gone either way. But Mom was determined and patient, and in her unique way, she coached me on how to be a better brother and friend to my sister. And it worked. Beth and I are truly wonderful and supportive friends, and always will be. Again, thanks, Mom. I know you were really proud of that. And Mom knew a lot of stuff. She truly was a passionate, lifelong learner. She was trained as a teacher, so when she became a grandmother, there was no stopping her from educating the next generation. Grammy was a force of nature. In the kitchen, in the sewing room, in her art studio, wherever there was a grandchild, class was in session. And you kids ate it up. And you ate a lot of blackberry pie, and chocolate chip cookies, and ice cream too. And Grammy loved to cheer you on. No matter what the event was, Grammy made sure you heard her voice rooting for you. She loved you all so much. She appreciated your unique talents and your amazing qualities, and I hope you always hear her voice rooting for you. If you listen, it's there. I would be remiss if I didn't mention another member of our family that Mom fed well and deep, meaningful conversations with, and that's Bella, the most spoiled boxer on the planet. There's really not an animal that Mom didn't love, but her care for her many boxers over the years was really over the top. She talked to them like they were people, and she fed them like they were royalty. I remember coming home on a college break after a semester worth of eating top ramen. I headed straight to the kitchen, opened the fridge, took out the freshly sliced deli turkey to make myself a sandwich, and Mom saw what I was doing and yelled, "Don't eat that, that's for the dog." Only the best for her princess. Kidding aside, my mom's care and generosity really knew no bounds. She was passionate about helping those in need. At her alma mater in Sacramento, she set up a scholarship for dance students. In Oregon, she supported disadvantaged children and families through her work with the Ford Family Foundation. Here at home, she became deeply involved with Malibu High School's Adopt a Student program, closely following and encouraging and keeping in touch with her adopted students well past graduation. At Verdant Day, they considered Mom an MVP of the program and honored her in May at the school's annual College Commitment Day ceremony. She would have been so proud of those boys. That she kept in touch with her adopted students should come to no surprise to anyone that knew Carole Kearns. Her ability to connect was remarkable. We called her the CIA, the Carole Intelligence Agency. On family trips, no matter where we were, in the middle of the ocean or in the middle of a jungle, we'd find her in deep conversations with complete strangers, laughing and getting along. She was endlessly curious and disarming, and people instinctively trusted her. She just loved to talk and hear people's stories. She could talk for hours with my Aunt Mary, catching up on their kids' and grandkids' lives. She could talk for hours with her friends. I'm sure most of you here have memories of her just sitting and laughing and catching up and telling stories. She loved it. But if she had to choose just one person to spend time with, the choice would be easy. Her favorite person was my dad. Mom was constantly quoted as stating that she was so blessed to have picked the right partner. It was not by chance or by luck. No, not at all. Mom knew exactly what she wanted, and when she set eyes on Dad, she immediately was smitten and she never looked back. Head over heels, she would go anywhere with him, even to rural Oregon to start a cattle ranch. Now that's devotion. "He's my cup of tea" was her simple, understated way of describing her immense admiration and affection for Dad. They were a team, and they built an incredible life together. 54 years of marriage, a close-knit family, a lifetime of wonderful friends and adventures, and my mom was the backbone of it all. She had so much to be proud of, but what made her proudest was her relationship with my dad. She loved him so much. People talk about her smile. What made her smile most was Joe Kearns. In one of her last emails to her beloved book club, Mom referenced a book they had just read about confronting life's choices and considering what could have been. She wrote, and I quote, "I thought about all the choices I could have made, and I will be eternally grateful for the path I chose. Dad, that's because of you. Thank you for being everything Mom wanted and more." So, did I say something interesting? I hope so. But I want to leave you with today is something simple. My mom's last words were to her granddaughter, and they were simply, "I love you." What fitting last words from her. They perfectly encompass how she interacted with everyone she met. She wore her feelings on her sleeve. She was eternally positive. She made you feel like you were the most important person on the planet, and she was quick to let you know how much she loved you. Mom, thank you. You're the absolute best, and we love you too.
Thank you, Jeff. So well put. Please rise. As I mentioned earlier, this ceremony is going to continue with the procession to the columbarium where she will be interred. For those of you who are watching